Hello everyone, welcome here back to this Osumania 7K World Cup 2024. We're here in the quarterfinals with what I think is one of the most interesting matches that we're going to see. One that can have the potential to go all the way. I am very, very excited to see this one here. Of course, going to be Philippines versus Japan. I am Potassium F, going to be casting alongside Bulma Gamer PH76.
Hello, thank you for the wonderful introduction you have. And indeed, this is a matchup for the ages. We know how much we've seen these two countries in the mania scene, Japan and Philippines, two very seasoned countries in this game mode really, especially on both key modes actually. Like, they've both accomplished a lot of wonderful things onto the scene, and seeing them both face in the quarterfinals is surreal. Like, this is something I'd expect much later in the tournament. Around probably a semis or maybe even finals even.
Yeah, these are two teams that I think you can realistically predict either one of these teams even making it to podium, right? Like, both of these teams, it feels like, would feel natural in a podium spot even. But in this case, this is going to be them matching up in the winners quarterfinal. So no one going to be eliminated here, but the team that does win is going to have a much easier road ahead of them. Well, not necessarily. They have to verse South Korea next week if they win. But just in the grand scheme of things, they'll have a little bit more leeway going forward into the tournament, trying to get to that top 3 position that they can make. And of course, this is not just an interesting match just because they're high seeded, because they're such extremely strong players, but I feel like the dynamic that we're about to see in some of these picks and some of the maps is going to be very, very interesting, mostly because of Japan's skill sets here. Like we saw in the qualifiers as well, Japan was top 2, number 1 or number 2 on every single one of the Rice maps, but they relatively struggle on these LN picks.
I'm not surprised. Japan historically, at least from what I've observed, also has some weaknesses on the LN department. So I'm actually not surprised. Wait a second, what's going on?
I think we're just waiting for some of the players to get into the lobby or whatever is going on there. But I do think that in this matchup, Philippines do have the more well-rounded skill sets. They're strong in pretty much every pick, especially in a quarterfinals pool where I think the maps are definitely going to be comfortable for all of their players to get through. I think the question is really going to be which team is going to score a breakpoint, because you're absolutely going to be expecting Japan to be picking the Rice because that is their main strength here, and Philippines to be picking into Japan's weakness in the LN maps. But what it's really going to come down to is who's going to get that first breakpoint. You know, if Philippines does get a breakpoint against Japan, it's going to become much harder for them, I feel like, to get back into the match.
Yeah, and here we go.
Those high rolls.
87 and okay, which one's gonna count? Wait. We saw two 87s.
Do they both get an 87? Or does Shana Kiss's roll count? Wait, 80.
Oh,
wait, Rain Lily
87. Oh, that was so close.
Oh my god. Wait, and then Botanic rolled an 87 right after. Okay. So Japan rolled 3 times. Wait, that's crazy. There were 4 rolls, and we got, what, an 85, 87, 87, 94 out of the 4 rolls that we saw in the chat there.
The mere fact that 85 was the lowest roll,
that is insane. That is insane.
Okay, okay, LN1, yeah, I would have thought Philippines would have protected LN2, actually. Like, you see LN release, I think that's gonna be Japan's biggest Achilles heel. Sorry if I butchered that word. But yeah, I literally would have thought LN2 would have been Philippines.
LN1 though, I mean LN1 and LN2 we've seen they've ended up being fairly similar as far as, you know, the kind of skill set and performance on it. But I guess LN1 being the protect mainly because it has kind of those wonky release timings that I feel like Japan are probably going to be less comfortable on. They're definitely not as comfortable with some of the more awkward LN patterns here. But Japan protecting Rice 4, okay, we're going to get the Core Jack Protect. Of course, they did get the highest Core Jack score for last week, so they absolutely can get some extreme ratios on those. And it looks like they're banning Hybrid too, so probably just not comfortable. Very short map that one is, and a lot of really awkward kind of LN releases, LN patterns that are involved in that one.
That's a very weird ban. I think PH bans Rice 1 though. Zyger's distribution will benefit Japan a lot. Honestly, Burning Star and AO Infinity also work as bans, but Zyger's distribution, I just don't see Japan losing that point in any means due to how fast-paced it is overall. Oh, never mind.
Okay, so it's going to be AO Infinity being banned by Philippines. I do think, okay, it is a chord stream map, and I know Japan is ridiculously good at chord stream. We've seen what kind of accuracies they can get on them, but I feel like the chord stream maps, you know, maybe this is just me misremembering, but I do feel like Japan does miss sometimes on some of these, you know, easier, more straightforward maps. So that might have been an opportunity for Philippines to get a breakpoint, but it is completely understandable. I feel like any of the Rice maps do make sense as a ban from Philippines. You expect Japan to be super strong on pretty much all of them. And it looks like Philippines are going to go straight into their Protect. They're picking LN1. And yeah, I mean, I would not fault any LN pick. I think other than maybe 8-Bit Adventurer, any of the LN picks would be really, really strong for Philippines here.
Wait a minute. Aren't you just swapped on places?
We're swapping some players around. Also, I think players may notice at some point that we do have a name change coming in from Philippines. They're not going to be in for this map apparently, but Kura has name change.
Oh my god, okay. I know very well what the name change was, but let's just wait and see, okay?
Yeah, for now it's going to be Arona and Sani being in for this one. That makes a lot of sense. I do think that these two players are fairly exceptional at LNs in particular. And interestingly enough, we are seeing Rainlily and Butanic staying in for Japan. So Nsana, who is on the team for some of these LN picks usually, is not going to be subbing in for this one in particular. And I'm very interested to see... it's always something at the back of my mind whenever I see Rainlily play, is that they are using that BMS controller. And I don't know how you do that for LNs, but we'll see.
Not to mention, I would have expected someone like Nsana or even Shanakis to play these long notes, but ooh, that's a massive drop very early on for Butanic. Not something you'd like to see, but here's the thing: Rainlily keeping up with the rest of the lobby. In fact, topping Arona's score right now. Butanic has been missing. See, I really thought the hybrid ban was so weird. Like, yeah, sure, hybrids could be uncomfortable, but LNs are literally right there. They could really realistically ban LN too or something like that. But I guess hybrids are way too risky. If I'm not mistaken, Japan won one of their hybrid points last time because of a keyboard issue from one player. I could be remembering wrong though.
Yeah, no, that was correct. That was correct. And that is the reason why that match didn't go to tiebreaker itself. This one very well could go. And it's looking like Philippines off to a very good start, still with the 2 full combos, holding very strong accuracies. Rainlily also with the FC, but lagging in behind a little bit in the accuracy. Butanic is the one right now that's struggling quite a lot more here. Managing to get to that 400 combo mark now, so stabilizing a little bit, but the damage has already been done from the start, down to 98%, and that's going to be a 40,000 point lead.
That's a massive lead. I mean, here's the thing, even if Rainlily is holding that full combo, Sani and Arona still at a 99%. This is gotta be one of the best scores we've seen. It is actually going to be really difficult to beat the score we saw from the Canadians on a match they had against the Team China. But then again, still a very solid performance right now. But they have to be really careful. Oh yeah, see, as I say that, on cue. On cue, Sani finding a drop. Very unfortunate, but the lead, I think, has grown way too big.
That was a fairly clean drop as well, only going down to 99.2. Still well above Rainlily's accuracy and Butanic, so Philippines off, coasting to a very nice win here. Rainlily does drop the FC towards the end there, unfortunately. And I won't say anything about the last player. But I do believe we are getting... Wait for it. Wait for it.
Wait.
FC
So,
from Arona. That's nice.
Arona getting the full combo. 980,000. That's going to be one of the best scores we're seeing. And honestly, Sani's score is also among the best we're going to be seeing in everyone that's played so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see already the very clear difference in comfort when it comes to these more tricky LN maps that we're seeing between the two teams. And I think this is a trend that we're going to be seeing quite a lot. I feel like if Philippines picks the maps that are, most LN oriented, going to have to go into the hybrids later on. But I feel like Philippines do have the safer picks because it's hard to imagine Japan winning one of these LN picks, just straight up. So I think the match is mostly going to be decided here on these Rise picks, and we're seeing the Protect coming out from Japan as well. But I feel like in this match, Japan just cannot afford to drop one of their own picks. Breakpoints are going to be absolutely lethal to them.
Wait a minute, are we seeing Arquin Virus in here?
We might be seeing a full team switch out from Team Philippines. I do expect Kura to come in. And of course, Japan are going to be keeping these two star players on for the Rice.
I would have thought Arona would have played this because Arona's scorecheck accuracy is really good right now. At least overall, in comparison to everyone. So I really would have thought it would have been Arona and Kura.
Yeah, we'll have to see how Arquin does. Of course, still a very strong player. But the question is, thinking about how this is going to go, I feel like the pure accuracy that we have seen from Jax from these more straightforward timing maps, ratio maps from Team Japan, I think it's just been so insanely strong that if there's no mistakes from either team, I do expect Japan to be able to take this pretty cleanly. It's going to come down to very small mistakes. If there is like a miss or if there's a big act drop from Team Japan, I do think Philippines have what it takes to be able to punish those misses. And yeah, there's the name change, by the way. That is Kura on the bottom left there for Team Philippines.
Alright, my internet kind of did a funny and disconnected a little bit. But we're going to be seeing Kura in here. Oh, well. There we go. What do we call Kura? Do we call Kura Oji-san, or do we call them grandfather?
I'm just going to say Kura for now. I think that's what most people know them as,
Alright.
We'll see if the name sticks later on in the tournament.
That'll be funny if they just name change for a very short time.
Different name every match. That's an idea.
Alright, so it's ridiculously close right now. But Arquin is actually slowly falling behind, but the mere fact that 99.86 is quote-unquote falling behind should be an indicator as to how good everyone in this lobby is. I do think, though, this pick could actually be a breakpoint for the Philippines if they keep its consistency, but it's kind of looking difficult. Look at that 99.99 from Botanic. Surely that's not going to change, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, Botanic is doing Botanic things right now. 99.99. Rain Lily not far behind. Both of the Japanese players beating out both of the Filipino players right now. And Arquin dropping down to 99.79. Still very high though. Still on a very clean FC here. And I think Philippines are holding on well enough. If there is a mistake from Team Japan, oh, that's a 50 from Arquin. That's going to give Japan a bit more of a lead, but I think they're within striking distance to be able to capitalize on any mistake. Question is Japan going to make any mistake?
Yeah, well, they're in the break section right now, and if you make a mistake here, the thing is, it's really going to affect so much, because this is like the part where the chances of missing are very low. That being said, though, consistency from everyone, very impressive, and this goes to show why they are the number 4 and the number 5 seed, respectively. That being said, the lead is really starting to... it's actually starting to grow in favor of Japan. And man, their consistency, their accuracy, this is the part where I think someone's gonna make a mistake. And even if I say that, no one is doing so. Arquin dropping a lot of accuracy, that is looking very grim for the Philippines right now.
At 12,000 points, it feels like even a clean miss is going to be fine for Japan at this point as we're approaching the very end. these accuracies are still holding up for the other 3 players, and I mean, disgusting scores from Japan. 37 from Butanic, another 999k. And yeah, I mean, that's why they protected it. 3 double S's on the board here in this match.
What was the best score we saw in Total Eclipse of the Sun? Can someone verify this?
I'm thinking, I mean, I'm just have to imagine it has to have been Dress-Up, right? I do think it was played in the Australia and South Korea match. I'll have to go back and check it later, but I mean...
Okay, I can check it right now, actually. So, Dress-Surf, you say, so Botanic has how many? 37 perfects?
37.
Dress-Surf has 57 perfects, so that is the best score by a long shot.
That is just an incredible score there from Butanic, and I mean, makes sense why Japan would want to first pick it, protect it. They are just so strong there, but now Philippines, right back to the LNs, they're not letting up. And I think this plan for Philippines is going to look good, even though Japan is looking so strong in those rice maps. I think this is going to be an uphill battle for them to try and win any breakpoints. We'll see. We're seeing Sani being switched back in, Arona and Sani. So we're seeing Philippines switching out their entire team here. But Shanakis coming in now on the side of Japan now instead of Rain Lily. Okay. So let's see how this one goes. This one is, all in all, fairly similar, you know, to LN1 in some ways, right? It does rely on some coordination, heavy coordination focus on this one. Maybe a little bit less wacky LN releases, but still, if you are uncomfortable on LN1, hard to imagine being comfortable on LN2 here as well. So definitely would think that Philippines has the edge on this one.
Yeah, I would imagine as well, not to mention putting in Shanakis. What if the interesting thing I find here is you're swapping in Rain Lily for Shanakis when Rain Lily was the one who had the higher score among the 2 players. That's the most interesting thing here for me.
I mean, I don't want to like assume things, but like I'm imagining like scenarios where, you know, because of the playstyle of Rain Lily, maybe, you know, if there's too high density, I do think this map does get denser than LN1. So maybe with higher LN density just becomes harder to play for Rain Lily, or less comfortable. But either way, this is going to be the roster they decide on. Still full combos for all 4 players, but it is a very strong accuracy lead in favor of Philippines. Still both players above 99.6. Ooh, Butanic finding the first drop here for Team Japan. Both players now below 99%, while Philippines is still holding up this incredible accuracy, 30,000 points this early on into the map. It is looking very, very comfortable for them.
Oh, I think that's a drop from Arona though, so that's gonna change some things, but ultimately it shouldn't really affect the lead too much, especially given how, while Shanakis has the full combo, that accuracy is just not gonna cut it. I think the biggest issue is the fact that they are releasing way too early, and it's really been affecting their accuracy. Meanwhile, we see Sani and Arona actually releasing slightly more centered, and Botanic fighting and miss. Again, really not going to be helping Japan's cause. These slow LNs typically have a few amount of objects, so that's gonna mean that if they make a mistake, it's gonna affect them so much more.
Yeah, just accuracy, you know, it is after all, accuracy does play a big role as well. So even though, you know, we do see Sani finding a break there, really doesn't feel like it matters whatsoever. Very clean miss from Sani, and this lead is going to stay where it is, 55,000 points. Accuracy well in favor of Philippines still. And Shanakis drops, that's the last full combo gone. No one with the full combos, but that suits Philippines just fine.
Sani's accuracy right now has really been helping them. Like slow LNs, really something I've known Sani to be really good at, especially on the O2 Jam scene. And really just showcasing how good they are on this skill set. And like, I don't really think there's much to say other than slow LNs are just really not gonna make the cut. Maybe the mix of Rice and LN is the main reason why Japan banned that hybrid. Like you can see right now, there are some mix of Rice, and Japan's sort of struggling in that kind of pattern.
Yeah, maybe if none of their players are really can really play the hybrid, but at the same time, you know, if they lose both of them, doesn't really matter which one they ban. So at the end of the day, it is going to be Philippines very comfortable win there. Very strong team score overall, both above 970k. But they are going to get through that one. Still 2 LN picks left for Philippines, so they've got plenty of picks up their sleeve. But Japan are going to be having to rely on these Rice picks, and I'm going to be interested to see in which one they go for next. I wonder if they're going to go for Chord Stream, because there is still one of those Chord Stream maps still up, and that has been the type of map that they've been liking to play. And it is going to be Burning Star being the pick here.
Picking Burning Star, you did mention how they could pick the Chord Stream map. It actually makes a lot of sense, because I do think Japan has an edge in accuracy by a fair margin. But this begs the question for me. Is it really worth it to pick something like this early on? Because I think this is one of their safety net picks. And do you really want to waste one of your quote-unquote safety net picks early on? That's just the bigger question here.
That's a fair argument, you know, because they are going to have to pretty much pick every single Rice anyway. They're going to have to win every single Rice anyway, right, in this match. That's what we kind of expect coming into this. So I think there's a very good argument to be made. Maybe save some of your better ones till the end, you know, like when the match gets really intense, you know, if you're looking at like a 4-4 situation and you're in a must-win pick, I think having this one up the back pocket instead of like the tech pick, for example, might be a little bit less nervous for the players. But here we go, we're into it.
Actually, I actually want to retract my statement there. I think their technical picks are their more safety net picks. But here's the thing, okay? Right now, it's very close. Chord Stream is playing very well for everyone. But maybe they want to go pick this so that when fatigue hits, they're gonna be more tired on the picks that are more difficult, which will favor Japan more. And I can definitely see where they're coming from. Even if it's close right now, Japan still has those picks that are technical, which should really favor them ideally.
But at the same time, you know, if you're thinking technical, if you're thinking stamina, that is, so I think Philippines do have the advantage of having the deeper roster. You know, they've been switching out all their players, having the players rest a little bit more. Right now, oh my god, this map is so close. 3 players are above 99.9 right now. Arkwin a little bit behind, just like with the Jack pick, but not very far. 99.78 is still really high accuracy.
Yeah, still 99.7 is certainly no joke. The difference between Rain Lily and Arkwin, though, it's a very evident difference. And that's really the whole match right now. If Arkwin cannot increase this accuracy, then they'd really just have to hope for being consistent enough. Ah, well, I'm so sorry! That was a pattern that Arkwin did not take lightly, and unfortunately it's going to increase Japan's lead. Very good look on Japan right now, like 99.92 average. Very difficult to beat.
Yeah, it was a very clean miss for Arkwin, but at the same time, you know, Japan already did have that accuracy advantage. So now with the miss on top of that on Team Philippines, Philippines are going to have to hope for 2 misses from Japan. One is not going to quite cut it here, because Japan are going to still have that accuracy lead here. Going into the last quarter, it is still, oh my, I don't want to say too much, but I'm just looking at Butanic's screen right now. And Kura, a bit of a messy miss there, down to 99.78, and now Japan, they're going to start to run away with this, still on the double FC, 99.9 for both players.
That accuracy difference is just way too massive to come back to, not to mention the consistency that they're showing right now. Like, Philippines' accuracy, this would beat most of the teams that we've seen playing, but that Japan team score is impossible to beat for most teams as well. And what a performance! Almost a 1995 effort, we're seeing a double S
That's
again.
insane. That's
Literally.
insane. Oh my god.
Literally, if you were to calculate the amount of 200s they've dropped on the Rice picks, you'd get 0. That's how good they are right now.
They're so good. I don't get it. Like you say, you know, not many teams can beat. I straight up, no team can beat this score from Japan. Look, South Korea. I know South Korea is crazy. Can they beat this? Maybe. But I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, double FC. These ratios are nuts as well. 998k from Botanic, and they're just looking so incredibly consistent. It's just so interesting to see the difference in comfort between the Rice and the LNs for Japan, because now I think we're going to see the opposite side. Philippines going straight for fans. This is definitely like their best pick, I think, of the picks remaining here.
I'd agree.
I do not see Japan being comfortable with this at all. This is a very awkward map.
All right, Patashimev, I have a question. What month is it right now?
It is February.
Right, and this map has some hearts, right? In there?
Okay, yeah.
So if you miss, you can call it a break, right?
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay.
So that means if you miss on the hearts, can we say that you're broken-hearted? I'm sorry, Surf2 would be mad if I did not say this joke on stream.
Okay. You can tell it later again when inevitably some players break on the heart pans. I think they have every single time we've seen this.
Alright. Okay.
Okay, let's see. We're seeing Rain Lily and Botanic staying in for Team Japan, so no Shana Kiss, no Ensana coming in. And we are seeing Kura actually playing LN for the first time this match, alongside Sani.
Yeah, see? Oops, I had a voice crack. See, I'm honestly not surprised to see Rain, Lily, and Botanic play this. Like, when we see physical events, those two players have a reputation for being able to keep up with those kinds of long notes. And this one Oh, come on!
not with that timing. That's unfortunate for Team Japan. The double miss, not going to help them out at all. They're still holding on to some very strong accuracies on Team Japan, despite the misses. You know, both players around that 99% mark. Rain Lily finding a repeat one, though. And, I mean, Kura is Kura, 99.7, crushing the lobby at the moment.
Yeah. See, I can see now where you're coming from when you said that this has to be Philippines' best pick so far. And here is the section where people keep on saying it's not a break section, and I can totally agree. We've seen some breaks in this part.
Yeah, we've seen players collapse, not just break. I've seen players like drop a whole percent on this one almost. This is something that you cannot relax on, and I'm actually impressed that all 4 players managing to hold through that. Japan now building back up above 99% on both of their players, but I mean 99% just doesn't look like it's going to cut it right now against this Philippines score.
Yeah, and now... Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. So both Philippines players still on a full combo, and that accuracy is ahead of Japan right now. So this is a massive advantage we're gonna see. And now, we're about to reach the part, the chorus of the song. Honestly, here we go. Okay, let's see who's broken-hearted here. No one. Okay, no one.
Yeah, we got a few more.
See, these patterns are really difficult to hit, so I'm not surprised if we're gonna be seeing some misses. Still, everyone is performing really well. Oh, okay, there we go. There's my answer.
Oh,
there it is again. Alright,
one of the full combos.
Jisan, the only player to hold the full combo. And despite all of the patterns we're seeing, amazing performance from the Philippines, just out-acting both of the Japanese players. Really good performance and really good pick from the Philippines, and a solid performance also as well from them.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I'm looking at, I mean, I think Philippines performed exceptionally well as well, but I'm looking at some of the scores from Japan, that they are not bad whatsoever. I'm thinking from this one, like maybe the LN map's still probably going to be Philippines' favor, but down the line, Philippines do have to pick one of the hybrids at least at some point, you know, assuming that Japan keep winning their Rice maps. And you know, if Japan can keep up scores like that on a full LN map, on, you know, this map in particular, maybe the hybrids might be fairly contestable for them. But we'll have to see once we get there, because it's going to be Rice 1 being picked up for Japan now.
And here we go. Ziggurat's distribution, in my opinion, this is hands down the best pick Japan could have ever made. And I honestly think the Philippines should have put someone like Sunny instead of Arcon Olivares for this one. Like, if we were seeing Arcon Olivares drop on, remember that Jack pick, he sort of dropped accuracy? I really thought this should have been Arona or Sunny instead of Arcon Olivares. So, interesting lineup.
I mean, it's possible that Philippines also wants to make sure that, you know, Sunny and Arona are staying warmed up as far as like the LN maps are concerned, and the hybrids as well, because, you know, I feel like the situation of these teams kind of goes both ways. If either of these teams drops any breakpoint, I think it's going to be devastating for either team. So I think it makes sense as well for Philippines to really try and focus to secure their own picks as well. And oh my god, these accuracies. Okay, early on into the map still, we're yet to see the speed patterns. Here they come. We're gonna see some accuracy drops now.
Yeah, like, this really involves a lot of pattern. Hang on a second. It's still ridiculously close right now. Despite the act drops received from Arcon Olivares, amazing display of consistency from everyone in the lobby. But the accuracy drops are not helping the Philippines right now. Japan still on to double 99.8. Despite the streamy and awkwardy patterns, my goodness, still a quad FC. Like, they're performing absolutely amazing right now.
Yeah, this is not a map that anyone should ever be able to get good ratio on. We're seeing some unspeakable things on Team Japan currently. 10,000 points in the lead just from accuracy alone, but I feel like Philippines, they're still in it. They're still fairly close, but they are relying on mistakes.
Indeed. But see, based on the act difference, they'll need Japan to make a double team miss. Like, both Rain Lily have to, and Botanic have to miss if they want to have a chance at winning. And it doesn't look like it's gonna happen based on how stable their speed has been. Look at this, double 99.81 right now.
That's
Are we gonna see
insane.
Orway FC?
Not on this map.
Oh,
okay.
No!
The curse has to come through. The curse has to come through at some point. Unfortunately, Arquin is going to be the one who is going to fall victim to that one, but it doesn't look like it would matter anyway. That miss ending up being inconsequential because, I mean, okay, Japan, once again, 5 200s for each of the players, and the ratio is just insanely strong for Team Japan. Kura, of course, also getting the full combo, also with the low 200 count, but not quite enough to take it down Japan on a Rice pick just yet. 3-3. There has been no breakpoints yet, neither team budging on their own picks.
My goodness, Rain Lily and Botanic, what are they doing? Like, look, Kura's FC was already insane on its own, and I have to say, Arquin's score was great. What? Wait a minute. We're seeing Waifu Jam.
I think this pick is fine. Okay, so basically, there is one LN pick left, sure, in the 8-bit Adventurer, right? But or was it 8-bit Voyager? I can't remember. One of them. It was the 8-bit something. But that map.
Adventurer. It's Adventurer.
Okay, yeah. But that map, being a density map, is something that, you know, historically you have seen Rice players perform well on LN density. It's just one of those things that if you do kind of just ignore some of the release timings, you can hold combo on it pretty well. We've also seen some teams, you know, even strong LN teams choking on it as well. So maybe not the best out of the LN picks, but this one as well, even though it is a hybrid, there are lots of, you know, weird LN release, a lot of weird rolls that are coming in, rolling patterns that maybe Japan are not so comfortable on. I think either way, even if Philippines picked the last LN map, this would have been their last pick anyway. So either way, just changing the order of things just a little bit.
Wait, we're seeing potentially a swap here. I have no idea. Okay, they're probably gonna be swapping Sunny out. Or, wait, no, Arquin out rather for Arona. So, I would have thought Sunny would have played that actually and not Arona. But alright.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about it, you know, Arona and Sunny, both of those players are kind of cracked. So I think either way, they have a very, very strong roster for this one. And I think it is going to be hard for Japan to win this one still. This might be Japan's best chance of getting a breakpoint. At least definitely from all the maps that we've seen so far. But I think it's still going to be really hard for them, just given how many LN patterns there are in this map.
Well, it's also 2 minutes and 44 seconds. So it's gonna be a considerably long map. We're just waiting for... Wait, what's happening to the client right now? Give us a second, please. Alright, there we go. We all good. We're all good.
All good in this, and it's going to be up to Japan to really prove that they can keep up with the hybrids right now. Philippines definitely going to be the ones that are looking to be in the driver's seat of a map like this. But so far, everyone doing well very early on into the map.
So yeah, now we're seeing some roles having Rain Lily and Botanic. Something tells me they can really contest this point. We've seen Canada do it against China, and right now, they're actually out-acting the Philippine team by a very slight margin, but it's mostly off of Botanic's 99.6 to Arona's 99.59. And it's... My god, okay, yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen, but these LNs should ideally benefit the Philippines more than the Rice hurts them, actually. So I think this could slightly go towards the Philippines' favor if they are careful.
And maybe the LN pattern's just not looking enough, and actually Kura finding the first miss there. Japan are going to take a bit of a lead, actually, as we're getting a third of the way into the map already. These LN patterns are not looking like they're difficult or tricky enough for Japan to choke on them. And they're looking comfortable, at least so far in this map. The accuracy advantage still in favor of Japan as well, as Arona's just a little bit behind the other three players.
It's actually looking terrifying right now. This is why I kind of really didn't like this pick. Hybrid 3 was just not the pick to make right now. That being said, it's actually shrinking a little bit, based off of Botanic actually dropping that accuracy slightly. And now, Arona fighting on this drop, that is going to increase the lead from Japan by a big margin, I'd say. With 8,000 points of lead, not impossible. That being said, we're already halfway through the maximum score, and Japan still on the full combo. But is it near? These LN patterns are not affecting Japan. Oh!
Rainlily, very clean miss from Rainlily though, didn't drop any accuracy. Accuracy lead actually just about even between the two teams, and another miss.
Now it's going to the Philippines, right on cue as well. Unfortunately, Rainlily fighting the drop. This is what Philippines exactly needed.
Yeah, the density at the end of the map. LN's picking up in difficulty. That is what really killed Rainlily there. And now we're going to see lead very slightly in favor of Rainlily with another miss. And I think the accuracy drops now from Rainlily. No one to match Kura on the side of Philippines in terms of the accuracy.
Oh my goodness. What looked to be a scare on the Philippines side seems to be a blessing as Rainlily fighting a lot of drops even. Botanic having the only full combo in the lobby, but it's not gonna matter as the Philippines survive a scare and take the win on this map. It was so close. Like, not to mention the accuracies everyone have right now is ridiculously close. Only reason why the accuracy is slightly in favor of the Philippines is because of Kura's 99.56 effort.
Yeah, the 200 count on Kura really putting in work. We can see everyone else with mid-30s 200 count, all pretty much even accuracy. But Rainlily just running out of steam a little bit towards the end of the map as the LNs did get harder. But I think this is all things considered, even though Japan did lose that point, they are looking good on the hybrids at the very least. So in the case this does go to tiebreaker, I think it's up in the air a little bit. But Japan have to get there first, and it's going to be breaking and entering, the tech pick being picked up now for Japan. And they are going to have to win this one, I feel like, because Philippines still have the last LN pick up their sleeves.
They absolutely have to. I'm really shocked that the ending went the way it is. I mean, I know the second half is definitely harder, but it was still a massive scare. I have a feeling they're really putting in Arquin just to conserve stamina for all the players, and it makes sense. But they really have to make sure they're not sacrificing too much here. Because, man, Japan they don't look like they're running out of stamina at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, even as you say, subbing Arquin in, I feel like Philippines, with all of these Rice picks, they have the opportunity to be able to break point on the Rice. The only kind of reason why Philippines hasn't been able to win the Rice so far is because Japan just don't mess up. They just have not had any weakness whatsoever on any of the Rice picks so far. But this is a map that is very difficult to be consistent on. There is a lot of tricky technical, Jackie patterns in this one as well. So very, very hard to consistently hold the combo, consistently get the high accuracy. And we're seeing a couple of act drops actually between Botanic and Arquin early on.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's gonna favor Japan still, given how both Rain Lily and Botanic are out-acting their counterparts. So, very good performance from both teams, yes. But this isn't even really where the difficulty starts to hit. It's after this section, I'd have to say.
Yeah, accuracy is going to get a bit of a boost throughout this slower section, but it's going to start to ramp up very quickly. Botanic's accuracy managing to recover up to the 99.5 range now. Arquin's also raising up. Actually, Rain Lily dropping a little bit down to match Kura again, and this lead is very, very small in favor of Japan.
It is, but wait, what is this act drop? We're seeing more act drops from Rain Lily and Botanic, while Kura is out-acting both of them, and it's definitely making an effect, a statement that the Philippines can take a break point if you're not careful, but Japan ultimately still out-acting them. I feel like the Philippines here have seen a sort of weakness in terms of Rice. Even if they are losing this, yeah, it's something they'll have to consider in what to pick next. Either the hybrid or the LN. And right now, whatever's more technical, I'd say that's what they have to go for.
Oh, and that's a miss from Rain Lily, actually. The first miss, very clean. Still has 99.6, so still very high accuracy. But I think that might be enough for Philippines to take the lead, or maybe not quite.
Chat. Not yet. Botanic has to make a mistake or a massive act drop has to happen. Because coinciding with Rain Lily's miss was Arquin actually dropping a decent amount of accuracy. So I don't know if it really matters. That being said, what is Kura doing? This is on the verge of a 990k. We need to see one more miss on the Japanese side if the Philippines wants a safe win. And it doesn't really look like that's gonna happen.
These trills are very scary. Oh, there's an act drop from Rain Lily. A few 200s on that trill. But not quite enough still.
What are these two scores? Philippines pulled off a double FC and that still wasn't enough to beat Japan. That's absolutely insane.
This is just insanely high level performance from both teams. Kura getting the actual MVP there, pretty much tying Botanic's score actually. We can see the difference between the 200 count and the ratio between those two players in particular, but Japan winning it out overall through pure accuracy, despite the one miss on Rain Lily's side there not being enough for Philippines to take a break point. And still, this late into the match, we only have 2 regular picks left, and there's been no... Oh, wait a second. Hold on. We are going to see the hybrid, actually. We're not seeing the last of the LN picks being picked up. That one seemingly maybe a bit too straightforward for Philippines to feel comfortable winning against Japan.
I think this is a very risky pick. I mean, either way, it is definitely risky, but... I did mention this a while ago. The mere fact that they saw themselves having a shot winning on a technical pick, I think this is probably the reason why they're going for hybrid 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all the picks, recently, the past couple of picks has looked pretty good for both teams, as far as breakpoints are concerned. I think Japan are starting to get closer and closer to potentially taking one of these, hybrid or LN picks, while Philippines are getting closer and closer to winning the Rice. as I feel like both teams have kind of used up all of their really comfortable maps.
Well, putting in Arona again for a hybrid absolutely makes a lot of sense.
I mean, there's Arona
But,
in the
man.
background as well, so that makes double sense.
Oh, wait, you're right. You're actually right about that. I did not notice that, but thank you so much, I guess, for telling me.
This is the Arona map. So let's see. Gonna be interesting to see how this goes. You know, the last hybrid very close. This one has the potential to also be pretty close as well. But this one, of course, another 3-minute long map.
So, now, what we're going to be seeing, of course, Japan starting with the athlete. Oh, come on! Okay, yeah, okay, Japan starting with the athlete indeed. Never mind!
Miss. Okay, and that goes straight back over towards Philippines. So traded misses from either side, but Rain Lily missing a little bit more early on. Small lead for Team Philippines, but this accuracy, actually, Arona really struggling to build the accuracy back up again, while Rain Lily's doing a bit better in that regard. Actually, Kura being the one to miss now as well. 3 full combos are gone. Only 1 left over, and Japan, they have a little bit of an act lead on top of that, but it's so tiny. This is 1,000 points.
OG-san finding another mistake. Very unfortunate. The mere fact that Botanic is the last full combo in this lobby, it's crazy. But the problem is now, we saw what happened in the first half on the previous map. Can we see a repeat of that on this map? It's getting scary though. Rain Lily out-hacking Arona. Botanic is actually behind Kura in terms of accuracy. So some noise could be made. But they have to be careful. 4,000 points is nothing. It's still very close.
Yeah, the accuracy is just about tied, you know, if you consider that Rain Lily beating Arona by a little bit, but Kura out-hacking Botanic by a little bit as well. It's all the misses, and Philippines has just missed, I think, 1 time more, pretty much, than Japan has overall. So, on a knife's edge, and we still have so much map left. This is such a long one as well. And if it's going to stay this tense the whole way, I don't think either team can afford much mistakes at all.
Yeah, and now, I just noticed this, but why isn't there isn't that much Ellen right now, and that's the reason why Japan's also able to keep up very well. And now it's gonna be a problem. We're seeing another Ellen section. Can we see?
Oh,
What?
is that
Wait, is this
Client?
Client?
That's Client.
It's Client. Botanic is still holding on. Mini Jacks and Ellen's galore, some of the most chokeable patterns. And still, never, as I say that. Now we're approaching the density sections. Isn't it up? Arona misses as well. Now we're approaching the rise section. Is this gonna be the break point? We have been waiting to see.
We might be seeing it here. Wait,
wait.
No, it's not over. It's not over.
Really?
Philippines, I think they're going to take the lead. I think they're going to take the lead at the very end.
But wait, it's 2,000 points. This is not safe. Kura trying to get that accuracy up. Oh my god, they survived another late scare from the Japanese side. What just happened? Wow!
Insane. 1,900 points. It came down to that very, very last miss in the last, 100, 200 notes from Rain Lily. So unfortunate there for Team Japan. They almost got that first break point, but Philippines, they are going to be so incredibly relieved that they managed to hold on to that one, because that was almost going to be a nightmare for them in this match. Botanic, shout out there for the only FC on the board, but Kura's accuracy was really what pulled through there.
Ooh, that was crazy. It really could have went to the Japan side for taking a break point, but it was unfortunately not going to be the case. Now, there's no way Japan does not pick Rice Civics.
It has to be. It has to be. Japan are... Like, there's no way. There's literally nothing I can say that would properly convey how like, just straight up stupid it would be for Japan to pick the LN. Cosmic Railroad, gonna be the last pick for Team Japan. This one, again, the Rice. We've seen it's getting closer and closer. This one being the mixed one as well. We've seen some pretty high accuracies on this one, so that might play it into Japan a little bit more, but still, Philippines, they definitely can keep up. And if Japan finds any misses on a map like this, I feel like Philippines can end the match right here.
Honestly, yeah, Arquin OG-san, this is a good lineup. I'd say like this is really the only one that makes sense. We saw them almost take a point off of technicality. Why not have a chance? And I can definitely see that happening. But they have to perform well. 2 minutes only. Gotta have the best act, best consistency on the board. If you want to see a tiebreaker, guess you know who to support. But if you want to see the Philippines close this out, like Japan is on the edge right now. I really do think this is one of the chances picks actually. Because of how difficult it is to act. OD8 and technicality usually doesn't go well.
Yeah, but actually Butanic off to a bit of a shaky start compared to what he usually puts up here, and that's giving Philippines the tiniest of leads out of the gate here, as both Kura and Arquin off to 99.7%, very solid.
It's very surprising to see the Philippines take the lead on.
It feels like now, yeah,
very
Arquin
early on, but it's gonna be going to Japan's side.
Yeah, Arquin dropping an accuracy a little bit, and Butanic has been increasing the accuracy, now above Kura as well. So both Japanese players ahead, but Arquin finding the first miss there. That's going to give a big lead now over to Team Japan. Rainlily does drop that incredible accuracy down to 99.8, but still by far the highest AC in the lobby right now. Butanic also beating Kura's accuracy. This is looking very strong for Team Japan, but there's still a half of the map left to go.
Not to mention, Butanic's act is literally higher than the Philippines' highest act, so it's really gonna benefit Japan unless Japan finds a miss or two, which we've seen only happens rarely on a Rice pick. So yeah, their consistency has gotta be in top form right now. You gotta be really careful, because again, I did mention a while ago, there are a lot of technical and bursty patterns here.
Looking fairly consistent. Butanic now above 99.7% after that really shaky start. Managed to hold back. Rainlily's increasing the accuracy as well. As Kura's staying consistent at that 99.6. But it's just not looking like it's going to be enough with both of the Japanese players holding on to full combos. Unless there's a massive mistake, it doesn't feel like there's any avenue for Philippines to come back in this one. As we're approaching the last few seconds, I think this might be locked in. We may just be seeing a tiebreaker coming in between these two teams.
One miss in total for this map. Yeah, that's actually crazy. We are only seeing one miss on this map, and everyone else just held on to the full combo. That's absolutely atrocious. And Rainlily, with the 200, what is going on? Everyone performing absolutely amazing, and we're going to be seeing a tiebreaker the second time this weekend, I believe.
It just feels so fitting for this match. It had to end in a tiebreaker. Given what we've seen from all of these maps so far, it felt like this is just right. These two teams should be going to tiebreaker, and here it is. Philippines versus Japan. Winner is going to be staying in the losers, not the losers bracket, the winners bracket. And the loser will be going down to the losers bracket, but I don't think you want to be going down to that losers bracket right now. There's some scary teams that are going to be chilling out down there in the semifinals that you do not want to be facing early on. So this is going to matter a lot, and I mean, think back one map in this match. Think back to that hybrid one pick and how close that can go. This is not a very straightforward advantage for either team right now. Maybe Philippines has been the ones to win the hybrids, but Japan can absolutely keep up, especially when it gets to the harder maps. We know that Butanic can absolutely crush some of these harder hybrids.
Wow. Like, I think Sunny might be the better choice, actually. Because this is a more physical pick. I mean, it is the tiebreaker. I think it has to be Sunny and OG-san.
It does look like they're asking for Sunny to be switched into the server, so they are going to be putting up those two. Of course, Japan keeping with the same two that they've had for most of these picks as well, Rainlily and Butanic. this is really going to be about, it feels like the story of the hybrids so far is, can Japan hold on well enough in these LN pans that we're about to see in this one? If Japan can hold through the LNs decently well, they can make back the accuracy and the combo on these rice sections that we're going to be seeing. But if there's some discomfort, then Philippines might just take a large lead out of that.
Large lead indeed. Man, I'm so worried about what's going on for both teams, because like, there's definitely going to be sections that benefit either team. It just really is more onto who's going to be benefiting more and who's going to be hurting less. I do see the Philippines benefiting on those LN sections and Japan on those rice heavy sections. But this is ultimately a sort of hybrid, because it's the tiebreaker. I have a feeling this could really go either way still.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see the same thing. Both of the hybrids we've seen, Japan had the lead at halfway, but ended up losing it towards the end. They're going to have to hold on for a little bit longer if they want to win this last map. So get excited. Support your favorite team. Who do you want to win this one?
Well, we'll have to wait on the viewers' response. Who do you want to see to win? But right now, they both deserve a spot on the semifinals round. In the winner's bracket, I mean. Because they'll both immediately make it regardless. That being said, Rain Lily finding a drop at the very start. Very unfortunate. But lucky for them, it happened at the start and not anywhere in the middle. Because that's when misses really start to matter much more.
Yeah, first 100 notes is not too bad to get the nerves out of the way, get the miss out of the way. It's not going to affect the score a whole lot. We can only see 2,000 points, right? The lead for Philippines. The accuracy drop, not helping out Team Japan whatsoever. It is going to be Philippines in the lead as far as the accuracy is concerned, with Kura holding that 99.7, highest in the lobby right now. But that's going to change. Oh, and as I say that, that's a big act drop and a miss from Kura. That might be enough to flick the lead back in Japan's favor.
It's a 4 minute and 38 seconds map though. So while this lead is, I don't know who has it right now. It's currently in Japan by a very small margin. Well, we're seeing some LN release sections right now, and this part should theoretically benefit the Philippines. There we go, right on cue.
Yeah, big drop from Rain Lily there. That dropped accuracy a fair amount down to 99, but matching Sunny still. So the accuracy still not that bad for Japan. Clean miss, another one for Rain Lily there. As Butanic and Kura are both matching each other as far as the accuracy is concerned, the AC is dead even. It's all these misses, and Japan has missed a little bit more so far. 2,000 points is the lead for the Philippines. We're only a third of the way into the map.
Here's the thing, you did mention the misses on Rain Lily's side. That's really the difference right now. Because yeah, Butanic is indeed beating Kura, but think of it this way, Kura has the best act right now. So this lead would definitely grow even further for the Philippines. And as I say that, Rain Lily finding another drop. Unfortunate because we're seeing one FC for either team. Butanic is definitely higher than Sunny, but Oji-san, Kura, just attacking Rain Lily by a lot.
We're seeing big act drops actually from Sunny, Rain Lily, and Butanic on this LN section, but Kura, the only one to hold on to decent act here. 99.4 is now starting to pull ahead of everyone else. Rain Lily, bit of a messy miss there, down to 98.6%, and Butanic as well. Japan collapsing a little bit in that LN section, and both Filipino players holding on to the combo all throughout that. Sunny's accuracy taking a pretty big hit, actually, the lowest in the room, but the full combo is what matters here. That's keeping them ahead, and 19,000 points as we're getting into the second half is a very solid lead for Team Philippines.
Exactly the performance they need to have right now. It's not the best accuracy, but that full combo absolutely tearing apart anyone other than Kura in terms of consistency, because other than that early miss, Philippines really is almost double FC in this. Oh, come on! No way! But that miss ultimately will not matter unless we see more from the Philippines.
Yeah, there needs to be a whole lot more misses in this last section for Japan to have a chance of making it back in. And Japan themselves, they need this accuracy to come up really quickly because Kura is just running away with this. There's no one to match Kura's 99.4 right now, and that does not help Japan there. Butanic with a few misses, dropping accuracy yet again. Both of the Japanese players, oh, Kura actually finding a miss there, but it's traded out with Rain Lily. It's not going to be enough to shrink this lead, and both of the Japanese players still missing. Sunny the only one holding on to the combo right now.
What is Sunny doing? The act is definitely a little bit behind, but that we saw so much of that consistency with display. Is this enough for the Philippines to take it? I think it is. Yep.
All of these misses towards the end, we saw both Filipino players finding the breaks, but they were all traded from Team Japan. So ultimately not going to matter that much. Sunny finding another miss, but 15,000 points. This is safe. I can't imagine them dropping it now as we're getting in towards the outro.
What a performance in the tiebreaker for both teams. Still a ridiculously close match, honestly. 15,000 points is not too big of a difference. What is that score from Kura? Is that a 972k?
It is all Kura here. 970k on the tiebreaker, crushing the lobby in this match, and Philippines ends up winning 6 to 5, I should say, barely winning over Japan. And unfortunately for Japan, they were 1,000 points away from winning this one, but they're going to be sent down into the losers bracket, while Philippines are going to get the privilege of playing South Korea next week in the semifinals.
Ooh, that's a rematch if we've seen one. As if we haven't seen enough South Korea versus Philippines matches. As for Japan, wait, let me check the challenge real quick, okay? Unless we can see the bracket, and here we go. Congratulations to the Philippines for winning. But for Japan, their rise scores are absolutely terrifying. So Japan is gonna be facing the winner of Russian Federation and Indonesia. That's what it looks like right now. But again, Philippines and Japan, they both performed absolutely amazing. It's a very equal match. Like, LN Hybrids, Philippines, Rice, Japan, like, you could clearly see how close these two teams were in different skill sets. Especially those hybrids, actually.
Yeah, we could. This is like the epitome of when you say Rice versus LN matchup. This is exactly what you think of, and we saw actually no breakpoints, which is crazy to see because it came very, very close a few times there. But in the end, congratulations to the Philippines. I think both teams are just incredibly strong, and I think both of them are going to get stronger as we go later and later into the tournament as well. So I'm excited to see how far both of these teams can go. But that is going to be it for this stream in particular. Next up, going to be at 14 UTC. That is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, let me just calculate real quick, 2 hours about from now.
1 hour and 58 minutes to be specific.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing, there are 2 matches that are going to be happening simultaneously. I believe the one highlighted there is Brazil versus Taiwan in the losers bracket, while we're also going to be seeing Russia versus Indonesia, the other losers bracket match going on at the same time. So make sure in approximately 2 hours you come back here for one of those, because a couple of those teams are going to get eliminated after those matches.
But yeah, thank you so much for everyone for coming to the stream. Japan, Philippines performed absolutely out of their minds. Performed a really good match for us. And I don't really have much to say, so you could close it out for us, Potassium F.
Yeah, make sure you take a bit of a breather after that one. I know I do. And have a bit of a rest. Go get something to eat and be back here in 2 hours because we've got a few more matches here. And we will see you then.